Tammy Henderson. I'm the administrator of McLarney Manor, and I'm responsible for helping out and making sure that the nurse aid manual included a very good section on activities. And as you go through the class and as you go through the information that you're reading on activities, you all are a vital part to making the activity program a success and to making your residents happy, feel welcome, have a good sense of their self and accomplishment. And it's important that you all understand how important activities are in a resident's life. What we're going to do today is I have a couple of nurses assistants that we're going to ask just a few questions so that you guys get an understanding of their viewpoint and how they feel they have affected residents and their activity programming. And I'm also going to have a resident here that we're going to ask a few questions on how important they feel the activity programming is in their life as they live in a nursing facility. So with that, I'm going to get the nurses assistants for us.
I'm Heather, and I started being a nurse aide when I was 16 years old, and I worked for a company in Brookfield. And at that time, I could only be an NA for a year. But then after that, I went to, and they didn't train us at that time. I started being a nurse aide because of my grandma. She went to the nursing home, and before that, I always spent a lot of time with her. I had to help her do a lot of things, so I just liked being around older people. So I decided to go and do nursing. And then when I worked for that nursing home, I went to another facility and I worked for them at the same time. So I worked at 2 facilities at the same time until I was old enough to be an actual CNA. So then I became a CNA in 1998, and I worked for, I quit the first one I had when I was 16 to when I was 18. And I just stayed with them for a couple of years, and I went to factory for about 5, and then I came back to nursing in 2008. So that's what I just like being a nurse aide.
Okay.
My name is Justin. I've been a CNA since I was 18 years old. I got certified in the nursing home I worked at the time. Always strive to be in nursing. I enjoy helping people. I think the payoff is wonderful, being able to bring a smile or joy to somebody's life that you're helping. I hope to pursue college and becoming an RN to further a nursing career in it, but I've enjoyed being a CNA. I've probably been a CNA for 9 to 10 years. I have my med tech. I've became insulin certified and CPR registered. I just enjoy it. Like I said, just the knowledge of knowing that you're actually helping somebody. It feels like you're making a difference in their life. You know, the care and compassion. You know, they're here because they have to be, not because they want to be. And I just want to make their stay as comfortable and joyous as possible.
In talking about activities and how important it is for the residents to be involved, what do you think your role is as a certified nurse assistant to make sure they get there or know what's going on? How important is that for you all?
It's very important. I mean, we're the ones that help them get ready, get dressed, make sure they have their shower, make sure they have their, you know, the perfect outfit on for that day, the temperature outside, that they're there at the front on time, that they just have everything ready so they have a good time when they're there.
Justin, what have you noticed about the residents who participate in activities, in a lot of the big social things, or maybe the stuff that goes on outside of the building? I know we do a lot of community events. What do you notice about those residents who are still involved in the community, in the facility, but also still involved in the community outside of the facility?
They seem to be more at ease with themselves and their surroundings. They don't feel as if they've became useless. They're still contributing something to their community, whether if it's outside the facility or within the facility. They seem to have more ease and comfort when it comes to being in a nursing facility.
What's your biggest involvement with the residents and the activity program as far as making sure that they know where, when, and what's happening?
Usually when there's an activity, it's announced. And we also have an activity calendar that gets passed out. And when it's time for that activity, either the day before or that day, they go around and ask to see if the resident would like to do that activity. Or we go, us nurses aides go and encourage the residents to come to the activity that they're having at that time.
When the residents are, it's so funny because we have the residents sign up for a lot of the outings. And so are they so excited that morning, you know, because they want to get up to the meeting place and make sure that they're here and they don't want to be late, and
some of them get up at 5 and it's going to be at 1. So
they are excited.
Yeah.
They just, yeah.
Yeah, like when they went to the Royals game, they were wanting up. They were fighting to see who was going to get up first and up here. Or just any place they get to go outside the
Is it Heather? Is it Heather? Heather, do you see sometimes residents feeling bored?
Sometimes, yeah.
And is that one of the things that, as a CNA, how do you help them be involved in the activity program to alleviate some of that?
We go and encourage that resident to go to the next activity, or, I mean, we have other activities that they can do. If they don't want to get out of the room, they have activities we can take to them. But we try to keep activities going for them all the time.
What kind of things would you look for in a resident to be able to tell that, oh, they're bored or they're not happy? Or what are some of the things that you see in residents that would cue you that there's something wrong with their feelings and emotions? And
Depression, I mean, if they're acting depressed, or one lady she likes to fold things, so we have this bucket of washcloths that she can fold, and she'll get kind of anxious and she'll want to do something, and so we usually just give her that.
And does that help?
And she'll sit there and she'll fold. We'll take all the washcloths out and she'll sit there and fold them all back and put them back in the box. So.
And what about you? What do you see with residents that you look for to say, ooh, maybe there's something, maybe I need to find them something to do?
Usually when a resident will be withdrawn and isolating in the room, they don't seem to have the energy levels as they have before. And I'll go in and talk with them and, try to put myself in their mindset of mood that they may be in, because something may have happened years ago around that time that they are withdrawn from everybody.
I think that's one of the major battles that we have to fight, especially when people first come to us, is that active engagement in ongoing living. Because that's not the idea that people always have about the nursing home. That really it's not a place to continue living. And that's one of the things I think that we can all pride ourselves that we're really trying to change about ourselves and our industry. And so, yeah, we see residents withdrawing and isolating and disengaging. And so we have to wonder why. What are we doing or not doing that could change that?
I have time to conversate with the resident. In the past, we have a function where we bring our children in on Halloween in their costumes and everything, and the residents will line up in the doorways down the halls, and that joy that it brings to the residents of seeing the kids and everything really builds a comfort zone where they confide into you and tell you of memories with their children or things that may be going on today. Then for days on end they'll speak about my kids, and a time when their child or grandchild was Spider-Man, or that first time back in 1957 when they took their daughter trick-or-treating for the first time, and how they were wanting to do it the next night. I think going the extra mile, and instead of looking at your resident as just a resident and a patient, but also an individual, a human being. They can sense that, you know, they're just another person, you know, and going in there and talking with them is one of my favorite things in the nursing home. You know, they've been through so much, and they have jokes and they have personalities.
Don't they have some wonderful stories?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And what difference does it make when you start hearing those stories about how you take care of people?
It breaks the monotony of my job.